Guys, welcome back. Now we're working on a Kitchenaid K5, it's the K5A lift arm model. This was sent in by Jason, who also sent in the A9 coffee mill that we just took apart. And I don't know why I was thinking a 3B. Now that I think about it, that's right. He had this K5, and he's a he's likes these Kitchenaids. And the funny thing is, in reading the note, what that came with this is he actually discovered a A9 coffee mills from one of the videos where we restored one. So that's kind of cool. And this is going to be a match to the coffee mill. We're going to do this in the same color we do that coffee mill in, which is a green color. But when this thing came in, it was packed well, but the trim ring came off, which they're not on there too tight anyways. So that saves a step right there. But let's turn this on and see if this thing runs. Alright, as I suspected, it does. It runs really well. It does sound like it could use a little bit of lubrication, but other than that, this thing runs really well. We're going to start just taking some of our trim parts off of here, and let me get this unplugged. Let's take a look at our brushes. Alright, the brush on there looks like brand new. This whole machine looks brand new. I mean, this is it's a K5, it's a K5A, it's not a K5SS. So this is obviously pre-78. And yeah, the thing just looks amazing, so that's pretty cool. It's nice to find these old machines in such good shape. Alright, I'm going to go take this back cap off here. And I don't expect it to be too bad inside there, unless the brushes were replaced at some point. This doesn't look like it's been used all that much. No. Look how clean that is in there. Never see them that clean. I got this off, I might as well get our little trim ring off. Or the band. Alright, and you can see typical Kitchenaid, the oil leaking all out from around the gasket, getting on everything. Alright. Man, I cannot believe how clean it is in there. Looks like about the only thing that's in there is a cobweb. That's pretty amazing. Alright, I'm going to take a seat here. Start working on getting this disassembled here. I'm just going to take this spring off of here first, and then we can pull our wire nuts off and get this speed control plate out of here. It's so nice when these are all color coded. That means that anybody that wants to, replace a part or work on their Kitchenaids can easily get it reassembled without having to worry about getting the wiring wrong. Man, we got one more here. Alright. Pull our wires out of the way. We can loosen up our jam nuts here. And we get the speed control plate out of here. This may end up being a little bit longer of a video because I think I'm going to show reassembly on this one as well. Alright, there's a speed control plate. Contacts are up under here. As you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, but the contacts look excellent. But then again, I mean, you know, when you heard this thing fire up, I mean, it sounded really good. Alright, let's see if I can get this off without having to break out tools for it. Yep, there we go. Little governor. I do want to pull this pin out of here right away. Alright. Capacitors in there. And I want to take this resistor off here now. Alright, so that's pretty much the back half of this machine disassembled. Now we can take this plate off and pull our armature and everything out of there. But I think we're going to go through, we're going to get this Planetary off, and then we got to take this off the base, because to separate these two halves, this has to come off of the base because there's two screws under here that attach these two halves together that we can't get to. So let me spin this. And yeah, this thing does got some beef to it. Kitchenaid's, they got quite a bit of weight. I'll try and get a little ring off here. There we go. And now we can pop it up. Alright, see if I can get you guys a good shot under here. It looks like it. You can see there's a pin right there that's got to be driven out. And for that, we're just going to use a little punch here. And there it is. Alright, and there's our Planetary. As you see, not a whole lot of grease in there, but there's more of that oily stuff that just runs out everywhere. So we'll end up taking this apart, and we can disassemble this shaft off of here and get this all ready for powder coat. Make sure I grab my washers here too. You see there's two washers here, and there's always two on the bottom of this shaft here, and on the top there'll be one. Alright, I'm going to set some of this stuff aside here for now so I have some room, and try and keep all these parts together. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these screws out here so I can take this motor right off the base, and that way we can take the whole motor housing apart. Well, I guess, you know what, I guess I could go ahead and pull this part back here first. So, and these are probably not tight, so I don't think I'm going to need a socket for these. No. They're not tight at all. Okay, there's one nut. I think what keeps these things, when they're loose like that, what keeps them from backing off is just the pressure that's up against this plate from the springs inside. which you'll see when I get into this. You can see how that's spring loaded. So let's go ahead and just pull this out of here. Trying to keep my hands out of the way so you guys can see. It doesn't want to just slide right off of there, but I just work it. There we go. Now it came off. And you got to be careful. There are washers that go on the back of the armature, and a lot of times they want to stick right here. And now you can see here, I can take this off, get this all cleaned up, oil the wick that's in there, and this will be like new. But yeah, these, you want to watch these washers that they don't come off, because like I said, they will stick to the back of that bushing a lot instead of on the armature, and you don't want to lose any of those. Oh, okay, here's one washer that was right here. I don't see the other one, so it probably went down in here. Now I can get it off. Huh. Okay, yeah, so that washer goes right there. And then here's the other ones that went on the armature. Alright. So with these wires out of the way, you can kind of see what's going on inside here. And yeah, there's a little bit of damn washers, a little bit of dust on the fan, but really not bad. These are the springs that I was talking about. Alright. Everything seems to spin like really nice and free. We got cord connection here too, that once we get this separated we'll be able to deal with that a little bit easier. But what I can do is disconnect this. It's easier to work on it when it's on the stand, so I'm just trying to get as much done as I can. And this armature we're not going to be able to pull out because there's a bearing in the other end, and that bearing it's not pressed into the housing, but it's, you know, it's a pretty solid fit in there, so you do gotta tap it out from the other end. But we'll get that in a minute. Right now I just want to pull this wire and get that wire nut off. I guess it can wait, but there we go. Alright, and both these I just disconnected. That's our cord connection. Both these right here, that's cord connection. And you can see how tight of a fit everything is in there. So, and we can't pull this cord out through here because with this coil in the way, these aren't going to, you're not going to be able to get those to bend around. So now we got to start getting these 4 big screws off here. And that was like unusually tight. Usually these are pretty loose. Like that one. That one wasn't tight at all. Yeah, they got the split lock washers on them, so I mean there's only so much you can tighten them. I mean they don't need to be, you know, you don't really need to reef on them. You tighten up anything with a split lock washer too much, you end up spreading that lock washer, and then it does no good. This one must have some grit on the threads or something, because it's not. Oh, the other ones I can twist my fingers. This one is not wanting to be loose. Alright, so I'll pull this last one. I notice I'm holding on to the motor because I don't want it to. I mean, there is some guide pins there, but I don't want it to kind of fall off. So there. So now I'm going to move this stand out of the way while I set the motor down there. I want to put something down. I mean, this whole thing is getting sandblasted, so I probably don't have to worry about it, but it's just force of habit. Put something down here. Alright, so I'm going to flip this over here, and I'll show you guys what holds this all together. There's 2 screws here, 2 here, and you got these 5 around here. And these 5 hold in the ring gear there, but they also, you know, hold these 2 halves together. So all those screws got to come out. The color that got picked out for this one, it's all I'm gonna say is it's a green. You guys will see when it's when it's done. It's a really cool color. I got the color ordered up. It's sitting here waiting. Or I ordered the color a while ago, I should say, and it came. It was shipped, and it's been sitting here waiting for this. Sorry, guys. I have not slept well in at least a couple months, and it's really starting to catch up to me here. Starting to, my brain function is suffering because of it. And these screws right here, that's the only place on a machine where you can actually put them there. They're like an aluminum screw or some really soft screw. But it's kind of hard on these Kitchenaids to get any screw in the wrong spot. Okay, so all our screws are out. The only thing left for separating these is there's an O-ring on here I want to get off. And they're not hard to get off, it's just, to get it started. Once you get it started, and you can just roll it right off the end of the machine. And I just got to get it out of the groove that it fits into there. There. Alright, so give me some room. Now we should be able to just pry these 2 halves apart. Now we've got a new gasket to replace that gasket there, because those gaskets are just crap. Along with the grease is crap. Alright, so you have it. There's our assembly, there's our crap gasket. You can see it's just saturated with oil. But like I said, typical. I'm going to set that part aside for now, and we're going to focus on this part right here. And you can see there's a lot of grease in here, and that's all got to come out. We're not going to get it all out right now, but we're going to get a bunch of it out so that we can continue with our tear down on here. And if you don't like getting grease on you and you're doing this on your own, get some gloves on, because you're going to get grease on you. This grease is, fortunately, it's awful thick. But yeah, I figured this is a pretty old grease. I'm not sure what the date of this mixer is. But this grease is probably, I figure if it was 77 was probably the latest that this would have been made. 87, 97, 2007, 2017, so it's 41 years old at a minimum. So yeah, that's pretty old. Well, you can see the pile I got going here. Alright, I think that is probably going to be good enough for now. And the rest of it, I'll probably just throw this in some hot TSP to help get the rest of this grease out of there, and then scrub it up, because normal degreaser doesn't really touch this grease. This is a funky kind of grease. It's really hard to get it to break up. Alright, so like I said, that's good enough for now for that. Now I'm going to have some greasy parts, so I want to get something else to set those greasy parts on. Take off our PTO drive there, which just comes right out. That's going to need to be degreased. Now, I could take out the armature, but I think I'm going to hold off on that for a minute. I think I want to go through and try and get everything else here disconnected. We should be able to pull our cord through here now. Alright, so the cord's disconnected. And we can take our switch assembly off of here. Get your little wavy washer that goes under here. Alright, and this is like a dual action switch, because you can see, like, when it moves the lever that goes here on the speed control plate, but it also activates this switch, this on-off switch here. And a little paper spacer, I would say gasket, but it's not really a gasket, because there's nothing to keep it, to seal up back there. So I think it's just being that you have a gasket here, I think that just helps to space everything. Alright, there's our lever, and then lastly this spring. Alright, and these two screws right here will take off the entire switch assembly. Let's see that. Oops. We'll take out these two screws, and then this whole switch assembly will come off in one piece. And here's the, you see there's the actual switch right there, that little white piece right here. And when that rod moves up and down on here, activates the switch. In case anyone was wondering how that worked. I don't know, maybe no one was wondering, maybe no one cares, but I gotta talk about something while I'm doing this, right? Alright, so I'm gonna also look for a date in here too. You know, being that, you know, like I said, I don't know the date of manufacture of this, but if I can find a date in here, that would be awesome. Alright, I have to tap this armature back to get it to come out, and it should just take just a little tap against the end of the armature here. Yep, you see that? How much that just moved? Alright, so here's our armature. We have to make sure we got all our washers on there. There's our bearing. There's the shield for the bearing, and you can see there's some grease in there in those bearings, but not a lot, so we're going to pack that full of new grease. We'll clean the old grease out of there with some spray. I'll make sure our shield stays with it. This part right here just needs to be cleaned up because it's, you know, it's got your carbon wiping on there, which really isn't a big deal. I mean, that's also acts like a lubricant between this and the brushes, but we'll clean it up and set this aside for now. Alright, I'm just going to roll that up out of the way because I'm going to stand this on end. Show you guys what's inside here. Alright, if I take these, loosen these nuts up here, and then I can unscrew these threaded rods, they'll come out. I've got two connectors on the brush holders here. Alright, that one right there goes to the coil. That other one is this one right here. It doesn't connect to the coil. I'll be able to pull this whole coil out, and then I can get our brush connectors out of there. So that's what I'm going to be working on, but I can't do it and show you guys down inside there, so I'll show you from this view here. Like I said, nothing is ever, none of these parts for some reason are ever tight. It's like they made everything finger tight, and that was it. And underneath of this field coil, there's two little spacers. They slide on here. So after you pull the field coil out, those have to come out. The one connector that's on that connects to the coil and to the brush holder, I got to take that off, and that just pops. You know, it just clips on there. That was got two like forks on it, and there's grooves in there, and it just slides into those grooves. Alright, take our little piece off the bottom, and this coil should come right out now. Yep, and there's one of the spacers. Here's the other spacer right there. You see it's just a little metal spacer that fits under here, and it just spaces this where it needs to be. Alright, I'm going to look for date on here. Unfortunately, I do not see one. That says 11560, which means this is, you know, made for 115 volts, 60 cycles. And at 12735, I don't know what that is, but you know, unfortunately there was no date on these parts here. Yeah, that's a bummer. I like when there's a date on them, and I know that Jason would have loved to have known the manufacturer date of this, but I just don't see a manufacturer date here anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to take the dust shields off here, and you see they're just little paper dust shields, but in here there's two set screws, and well, that one looks like it's like, that one is loose. That one was never tightened up or what? No, it had to be. Oh, for some reason, okay, this is weird. This goes down in there. This threads in there, and it goes down. And it stops on top of that set screw. So that somehow it unthreaded that set screw when I pulled that out, which is unusual. I haven't seen that happen before. Alright, let me take these dust shields out of here. That's all it is, just a paper disc. Added one brush holder and the other. Alright, this needs some degreasing, and it'll be ready for blasting powder coat as well. So let's set that aside. Let's bring our base up here now. Okay, so like I said, I couldn't find a date on here, but I do believe this is one of the older versions because it's got the metal lift arm on there. And you know, at first I was impressed with the metal lift arm. I still think it's better than the plastic, but I believe that's just a powdered metal on there, and it's probably extremely brittle. So I'm not so sure that that's as great of an option as I originally thought. You think they would have used something in cast molten metal, you know, not cast powdered metal. So, anyways, the pin that's in there that it holds this to that part there, we gotta take that pin out, so we're gonna pull this out. I'll take the base apart, and once these screws right here hold this lift arm to the assembly that lifts it up and down. So once we get those screws out and take the base off this neck off the base, that'll slide right off, and then we can get all our pieces out of there. Alright, I don't want to beat on it too much because I don't want to break that piece, but unfortunately it seems to really be on there. Drive it from the bottom. I may have to spray that down with some penetrant, but I ended up getting it off. You can hear the pin just dropped right down to the bottom. Now I should be able to pull this handle straight out. Alright, you see a lot of galling on that handle right there. So we'll get this all polished up nice and smooth, and that's the part that goes inside this, the hole that's over here. And I see that quite a bit, but I think what we'll do is we'll lube that up with some wax when we put that back together after it's polished up. Alright, I want to take these screws out here. Matter of fact, I'll probably take this little chrome piece off as well, since it's got to come off anyways. Alright. Gotta flip this over. Gotta get our screws out here. Also, gotta look for that pin. There it is. That's the pin that hold that lift arm assembly together. Hey, if you guys are doing, maintenance on your mixer, obviously you don't have to get this involved into it. This is, doing the restoration on it when it's got to be sandblasted and powder coated. Every single screw and pin and washer and nut got to come off of it. Alright, so the only thing that's left on here is the feet. This base is stripped right down. Okay, so I wonder, I'm betting that I can't take you up. I can't just slide this out of here like the newer versions. What the heck is that? Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to take this apart back here. That means I got to pull that nut. There's a nylon nut on there. See that nylock nut on there got to come off, then that spring, and the two washers. One of them is a real bent washer that's supposed to be like that, but I got to take those off. So I got to go find the right socket and I'll be right back. Alright, all set here. Alright, there's all of our parts holding everything together. This I can slide this out, and I can slide that off. Alright, the only thing that's left on here is these got to be driven. These little pins right here, they got to be driven out. Basically, just turn it upside down. Put put down a socket, and then take a punch and just drive that straight through. They pop right out. If they give me any trouble, then I just hang this in the oven for a while, get it nice and warm, and then they'll practically fall out at that point. But there's another part ready to go. Actually, both those parts are ready to go. Okay, now we want to reassemble this the way it came out. And you can see this is going to need some lubing up and cleaning too, and there is some rust on there. So we'll get that cleaned up as well. So we'll put this all back together, so we know what went where and don't lose any of it. Alright, feet on here now. And I'm going to take a look at these feet. Let's see. Still seem soft. I think we're going to reuse these feet because I think black, black will go with this better than white feet. Unfortunately, I cannot get black feet or even find rubber bumpers to use for feet that are this size. I can only find white feet, even from Kitchenaid, so I want to check these out. Hopefully these can be reused, because I wouldn't want to put white feet on here when everything else is going to be green with the black. I don't think there's any other part on here that's white. The knob on the speed control lever and the little knob in the front to tighten your accessories up is all black. Nothing else is white. Alright, base is ready to go. Hey, I'm sorry I keep bumping you guys, but I mean, this is like right in the way. Alright, the last part that we've got to, oh, and this is ready to go also. Which means that this is the last part we got to take apart here. Let me see if I can get you guys in here nice and close on that. Got your basically your drive gear assembly. And this is held on with 3 screws, but once that's off, we can take this whole thing apart. Yeah, this has got Phillips screws also. So I guess Phillips screws, that would kind of help to date it too. I would say it's probably, this machine is probably 60s or 70s. Of course, I don't know for sure. I'm not an expert on Kitchenaid dating. I'm only an expert on dating when there's a date inside the machine. Then I can be an expert all day long. This one unfortunately didn't have a date in it anywhere. Alright. This has got some locating pins also, and just got to pry it up off the locating pins. Well, one locating pin actually stuck in here instead of staying in the machine, so that was a little unusual. But now you can see all the grease on there. You know, we'll take this all apart and get this whole thing cleaned up and degreased, so that when we put it back together, there's nothing but brand new grease on there. Because you know, we don't want any of this old grease floating around in here. We can pull our main shaft out, make sure our washer is under there. This can get cleaned up and degreased. And let's get rid of this crappy gasket on here. It's like a thin, almost like brown paper type gasket. It's crap. The gaskets that we got are black, and they seem to be a little thicker than that, and I hope that they work a lot better. Although the grease I use won't be leaking out. Let me get this, see if I can get this ring gear out of here. Yeah, this is one of the ones that ain't gonna want to come out. Oh, maybe it will. Or not. Well, you can see these are, you know, really well machined fit in here. Sometimes they come out with a little bit of work. This one, it's not gonna want to come all the way out, not easily, and I'm not gonna force it. So once I get this cleaned up, I'll just throw this in the oven, and as soon as this metal heats up a little bit, I'll be able to just grab this and with a screwdriver and just pull it right out, because there won't be no pressure holding it in at that point. And then this can be cleaned up and ready for powder coat. Alright, so that was a lot of disassembly. We got the entire machine apart. All we've got left to do is cleaning. We got all these parts right here that's got to be cleaned up. And sandblasting, powder coating, get everything put back together. So I think we'll show reassembly on this one. I'll come back when it's ready to be put back together, and we'll go ahead and get it reassembled.
Mama told me when I was young, come sit beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. We'll take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, they will pass. Go find a woman, yeah, you'll find love. Don't forget, son, there's someone up above. And be a simple kind of man, but be something you'll never understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man, but won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Forget your lust for rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. You can do this, so baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. Simple kind of man, be something you'll never understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man, but won't you do this for me, son, if you can? But don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. You can do this if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. And be a simple kind of man, be something you'll never understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man, but won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Baby, be a simple man, be something you'll never understand. Baby, be a simple man, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Mama told me when I was young, come sit beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, they will pass. You'll find a woman, yeah, you'll find love. Don't forget, son, there's someone up above. A simple kind of man, but be something you'll never understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man, but won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Your lust for rich man's gold, all that you need is in your soul. You can do this, so baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. Simple kind of man, be something you'll never understand. Baby, a simple kind of man, but won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
Okay, so here we are putting the finishing touches on this here, and apparently my video shut off quite a while ago, and I did not even realize it. So that's kind of a bummer. So I missed some of it, but it was basically just the last of the disassembly, I believe. Or the assembly. I believe I got most of it. This trim ring right here, when I put this on, that you could actually just grab it and just pull it right off really easily. So on the bottom of the housing where this slips over, you know, you got your things that come down like that. I basically just took a set and just punched them on the bottom in a few spots, basically just crimp out a little bit of metal on the edge, and I got that on there, and that fits nice and tight now. And all we've got left to put on is our little end cap here, and then our little attachment threaded piece here, which I see it looks like I've got some powder up inside of here, so I should probably clean these threads out. Which a lot of times, you know, the powder you won't get the powder up inside of there like that. You get that Faraday effect that pretty much takes care of it, but every now and then you get a little bit of powder blasted in there, and it gets on the threads and kind of makes it a little tough. There we go. You just go and take the powder off of where it's on the threads, and just chase it right out of there, and then you can thread that right on there. So that's good to go. Our lift arm assembly moves nice and easy. I do not know about the adjustment on this because I do not have a bowl, so this may have to be owner adjusted when he gets the bowl and the whip on here. But it operates nice and smooth. There's no issues with that. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Well, why don't we plug it in first? Let's turn this on. Like you see, it goes through all the speeds, nice and good, runs well. This thing was very low mileage machine, by judging from the inside of it when we got it apart. I'll give you guys a side view here. We got a new black cord on it, put black feet back on it. This is black. Unfortunately, these are white, and I don't have black caps for it. And I'm not sure if you can see this color. This is a pearl mint. It's called pearl mint, or mint pearl. Let's see if I can get right on a reflection of it here. Yeah, I'm not so sure. There we go. You should be able to see like the pearl in it right there. And he's got like a really nice jadeite collection. I mean, jadeite collectors would be envious of just the items that he showed me that he's got. And he wanted a color that would go well with the jadeite, the Fire King jadeite. And I think this is a great selection for colors here. So yeah, I think it's going to look well with the jadeite. We're doing a coffee mill in the same color, and that'll be the next video coming up when we finish that up. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to those as soon as I can. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.